Okay, I want to demonstrate how the refs intentionally jacked the end of this game up in favor of the Steelers. Now, while the whole world is focusing on the very last play of the game, the real focus should be on the touchdown that was called back for offensive pass interference prior to the one called at the end of the game on the same drive. So I talked to people who swear up and down that this was a decent call, but these are people who uh want who are not being objective. So, and when I talk to them, their assumption is none of them have seen this angle, and this is more of an angle from the referee's perspective. Their assumption is that the person who was lined up against St. Brown is who Teslaa, who got called the pass interference, contacted, right? Their assumptions are wrong. The person who this man contacted was a linebacker who not only didn't know his assignment, but he was never in a position to have prevented this from being a touchdown. It was not the person who was lined up on St. Brown. So you're going to see that the person who was lined up on St. Brown blitzed. And because he blitzed, that was an automatic touchdown. It was an automatic touchdown. So people assuming that the contact was with the person who was lined up on St. Brown. The contact was with a linebacker who was confused on what his assignment was and wasn't even set when the ball was snapped. So pay attention. Pay attention. I'm going to hit play. Keep your eye on this guy right here. Right? So this guy right here is going to line up on St. Brown. And remember, here's the center, so the line of scrimmage is here. And this is why this was a horrible call by the referee. So hit play, bam. So now you're going to see this guy right here is lined up. Most people that saying this was a good call, they think that he contacted him because they're looking at it from a different angle. When in fact, it was this dude. Look how far this dude is off the line of scrimmage and how far toward the center of the field he is from St. Brown, which means this shouldn't have been an offensive pass interference. There was no way in hell, even if there was no contact, there was no way in hell that he was going to stop him from catching the ball right here. If the contact was between him, this guy, if he had contacted him trying to defend him, then that would have been a fair call. But this guy way over here, he didn't have a chance of hell. But what he gonna do is out of fear and not knowing his assignment, when he break, he gonna decide to stop him, which he should have, because if Goff was targeting him, that was gonna be a touchdown if he didn't try to stop him. But him trying to stop him, if he would have tried to target him, it was clearly a pass interference. This guy made a conscious decision to pick him up. So watch this. So I'm just going to hit play. See that? So let's rewind. Pay attention to this guy that was lined up on St. Brown is going to blitz. See, he gonna blitz. This the guy lined up on St. Brown. He gonna leave St. Brown. That's why that should have been a touchdown. Was no way in hell that this guy right here was ever gonna stop St. Brown from catching this ball down here. Keep your eye on him. What happened? Keep your eye on this guy right here. Watch him. See? So if this guy abandoned St. Brown and this guy was running a route which he had every right to run in this direction, he had every right to. That's what makes this a horrible call. This man was never gonna be able to stop St. Brown from catching that ball over here when that ball snapped. I'm gonna hit play again and just let it play out. So case closed.